That was amazing. Thank you very much.
So what's the most embarrassing thing you've done as an actor? Well, I tried to fix it.
I think we did that just now.
As actors, you guys will see on video soon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Närcon made us do something so horrifically humiliating and degrading that it's just very funny.
I have no idea. All I know is we've been like running all over trying to find brass instruments.
Right. So
that's the main hint.
Right.
I guess we'll have you right there in the back in the orange-ish hair with glasses. Yeah,
Orange-ish hair.
like that.
Hello, what's your name? Hello, Anna.
I'm basically just going to ask that if you are supposed to do a demo for your voice work for the studio, what should you do in it? I mean, I know you are supposed to tell a little bit about yourself, but...
Actually, no.
Okay.
So first I would say, where do you live, like close to Stockholm?
We are in Finland.
In Finland? Okay, close to Helsinki?
In Tampere.
Okay, well, I mean, I have no idea what that is. Basically, when I tell young actors about how to get into voice acting, your voice demo is basically your storefront. It's your calling card, okay? And you want it professionally made. So what I would suggest you do is call up, you can get online, see the local talent agencies, and that's probably in Helsinki or Stockholm or even Copenhagen, wherever it is that is big enough that they have talent agencies, and write them and say, hi, I've spoken to John Patrick Lowrie and McLain, voice actors from America, and they suggested that I do this. I'm interested in getting into voice acting and I want a voice demo. Who can you suggest that I go to make one for me? Because there will be people, because anytime there are actors, there are going to be people who make voice demos, and a good person who makes a voice demo will write you copy, and they will put down music pads so that it sounds professional. They'll do all that stuff, they'll produce it so that it sounds like you've actually already been on commercials, already been in games, done this kind of stuff, okay? That's what you want. You can figure that anyone will listen to about the first 15 seconds of your voice demo. It should be about a minute to 90 seconds long, and you want to do as many different things as you can. But you want all the little bits to be short, because people are going through these things like by the thousands. And so they're going to listen to a little bit of it, and if something on the first 10, 15 seconds catches their ear, then they'll put that aside, okay? So you're not going to be talking about yourself. You want to keep doing stuff. You want to say, hey, we just got a new Saab car in, and this is the best car you're ever going to see. And break to something else. Wine is very sad. Inflate your liver, but you should drink it anyway. Whatever. But voice demo makers are kind of up on what's hip and what's stylish right now. So, and that's the kind of thing you want. I don't have my demo online anywhere, but I may put it up on.
The actors group.
Well, that's true. Yeah, if you go to the actors group, just Google
In Seattle.
the actors group. And I think there's only one.
No, there's one in LA.
Okay, so the actors group Seattle, and go to Ellen and mine. You can hear our voice demos, and you see what they're like. Okay, and that's probably going to give you your best answer. Okay.
Pink hair down here, maybe?
He doesn't know that he has pink hair. He forgot that. Oh no, he's looking at the bottom.
And what's your name?
Depends. What do you want me to
We'll just call you Chell.
do you want my real name or what I prefer to be called?
What you prefer to be called?
It's Sarah.
Sarah, okay.
My question is, I'm a sucker for True Blood, and when I saw Pacific Rim, I noticed that one character plays a character from Blood and also, so I was just curious, did you get to meet some of the actors that actually went to play this?
You know, that's a good question. I did all the recording for Gypsy Danger. I had like 5 sessions over about 6 months. I was always in Seattle. My first recording session, Guillermo del Toro, was down in LA, and we had a phone patch, and he directed me, but I didn't meet him until the cast and crew screening. So I did meet one of the voiceover actors at the cast and crew screening, who actually trained, what was the lead actor's name, the young guy?
Charlie Hunnam?
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam. He taught Charlie Hunnam the Japanese that he had to say. And I met him at the cast and crew screening, but that was the person I met, and Del Toro. I met Del Toro at the screening. But I was in Seattle the whole time, because it was just my voice. So I didn't meet anybody.
But it's, and I don't know if this applies to you, but people told us that this would be important to you guys. Ellen and I were instrumental in helping the first gay gamer convention get off the ground. We helped them with their Kickstarter
Gamer
program.
X.
And we just want to tell you about Gamer X in San Francisco. They're going to have their next one
In December.
in December of this year in San Francisco. And so I know that we've heard a lot about how progressive you are, even in your language, trying to come up with a new pronoun that is like gender neutral and stuff like that. So we want to put that out there for anyone who was interested. It was a very nice gathering, man. Really fun time. I don't know if that applies to you or not, but anyway, you said Sarah is what you want to be called, and your name is something else, but that's what we did it on. So I thought that.
Thank you.
It's called Gamer X, but it's really LGBT everything, you know.
Yes, hello.
Hello?
I had a question about if you ever play in the films that you're in, or watch them, or whatever. If you played in poker, say, is it ever weird to hear your own voice? Like, if you get shot in the face and get insulted by yourself?
So I do that all the time. I insult myself all the time, so it's not that weird. Actually, Team Fortress is so fast. I played a little bit, and as soon as I get into the game, it's like I get lost. So I love playing Half-Life 2. And the great thing about Half-Life, the weird thing about Half-Life 2, I'm the Citizens, she's Overwatch. So I'm always glad to see me. Gordon Freeman, great! Oh, we're really going to do good now. And my wife is always trying to get me arrested. You are malignant, you are bad, we hate you. You know, all that kind of stuff. So that's the weird thing. But the funny thing is, a friend of mine in Seattle used to play Half-Life 2, and he would actually get shot sometimes. He would die because the Citizen's voice would come on, and he'd like turn over his shoulder because he thought I just walked into the room. So it's a lot of fun. I love the games, but Team Fortress 2, I just can't catch up to. So I have to learn more about it.
But he's beaten Half-Life 2.
I've beaten Half-Life 2, and I've beaten Portal, but I haven't beaten Portal 2 yet. And I love Portal. I'm sorry?
Half-Life 3.
Right, yeah. Gabe doesn't do that.
Gabe Newell's mother was assaulted by a 3. Okay. All right. How about way in the back in the black? Yeah.
Thank you, I'm so happy.
I was actually going to call him.
You look like you need the exercise.
Which one?
Keep your hand raised, yeah.
Hi,
Hi.
And what's your name?
I'm Moa.
Moa.
Yes, it's a very Swedish name. I guess you're a bit late, so I'm very sorry if you have already answered this question. But if you can see this, a lot of cosplays here. If you two were to cosplay, what would you choose for character?
I would probably choose Glados. I love playing with Glados.
I would choose the announcer from Team Fortress 2. I think she's, you know, the old, skinny, chain-smoking bitch. Victory! I could totally do that. I could totally pull that off.
I'd love to play cosplay the sniper. I would want to lose about 50 pounds for yeah.
So how about in red?
Red right in the middle.
Yo.
Hi. My name's Air.
Air.
Yeah, you know the thing you breathe.
Sure.
I have a question for both of you. It's sort of portal related to this. What's your favorite cake flavor? It's very
Well, our favorite cake is red velvet cake with buttercream icing. That was our wedding cake.
Give our mic a break and pick you with your arm straight up within the t-shirt, right in front of it. Yeah. Right there. You're looking at it. Yeah.
My name is Rebecca, and I have a question for Ellen. You did Glados' voice, and I was wondering if it was hard doing Glados' voice, seeing as she's a robot and can't breathe.
Good question about the breathing. Good question about the breathing. Because the first voice for Glados, before she loses the morality core, that the director and the writers wanted me to sound as close to the computer-generated voice as I possibly could. Now, they would write really long lines. So I would do it and it's like, oh, I can't get through that. And so then I would have to do my stomach breathing. Welcome to Aperture Science in Richmond Center. There will be cake. Are you really going to do that? I wouldn't recommend that. Well, all right, go ahead. I can tell you're not very smart and you need to lose a little bit of weight. So you practice talking along, but if you breathe from down here, just release your abdominal muscles. And then you can go on and 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 on.
Practice is on me.
What was the most fun part about doing Glados?
The songs. The songs, the turret opera, Want You Gone, Still Alive, best part.
Yeah, very good songs.
Yeah. In the scarf, the brown hair in the scarf, hand up, barrette in the hair.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Petra.
Petra.
I wonder if you have any special techniques when you do different kind of voices, and you have some tricks or something.
Well, the choices for a voice actor are range,
canvassing, the turret, canvassing, target acquired.
or Glados, oh, it's you. Death prophet is very low.
Good mother, I'm dragging a lot of air across my vocal cords.
So it's all about space inside the mouth, and it's about pitch. you're doing more than one character, John in one recording session had to do 13 different characters in one 4-hour session. I should let you
Hilarious.
talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the great thing about games is most of the time your characters have to die at some point. and so they save all the screaming for the end because it's very hard to voice. But you can imagine I've come up with 13 different dialect styles of talking, ways of speaking, and then I have to die as every one of those characters. And so, I mean, if one character is from the Bronx, that's great. You talk like you're from the Bronx. But if you die, you're just screaming, ah! And if you're, like from, say, Southern Tennessee, you talk like you're from Southern Tennessee. But if you die, you're just screaming. So it's like having to actually differentiate between all the screams was hilarious. But I would say that as you're coming up with a voice, usually when we get auditions, they will give us a picture, a drawing, a painting of the character as they've envisioned it, and give us a little bio of the kinds of things that they do. And then you're going, basically the way people differentiate themselves in their speaking voices is how low or how high their voice is, the range, how fast or how slowly they talk. Somebody can watch them talk like this all the time. Somebody from Texas, might, talk like this and takes a long time. So those kind of extremes. And then there's what I call the melody of the voice. It's great. I found. Do you guys know the Muppets?
Yeah.
And you're familiar with the Swedish Chef?
Yeah.
Most Swedish people, most of the time, just talk and they just talk. But when I saw commercials on television with a voiceover, and she's being very friendly and saying, there's a sale and there's a. That's when she becomes a Swedish chef. I mean, totally, that's when you hear this kind of Swedish. But Swedish people tend to speak with a lot of melody. Somebody like Punch. Punch, she's from London. He's very, very dry. He don't talk a lot, don't have all of the melody. Just down there. Fresh bait. Gets excited every once in a while. Southern American people in the South tend to have a lot of melody. They tend to have a nice flow and ebb and flow of the voice. Someone from Chicago is very flat. So
They're here, they're live, and they're going for the full Monty.
Right. And so those kinds of things help you to. Dialect work is a lot of fun. And I encourage everybody, particularly you guys, cosplayers, to get into it. Listen to how people talk. Listen to how your favorite characters talk. And how you break it down is, I was talking to our handler, Isaki, vowel substitutions and consonant substitutions. I told Sophia, our other friend here, that my new hobby is Swedish vowels. Because she was telling us about the favorite thing that you guys like to do, which is have coffee and sweets, which is called fika, right? She said, fika. And I said, no, it's just fika. Okay, well, people in Göteborg say fika. And it's like, okay, she's putting an L on the end of it, or is the I kind of going to a U? And for a person with a fresh ear like mine, who is not around Swedish all the time, I'm trying to figure out actually what's going on. Is it fika that she's saying, or is it more fika? And to your ears, all those things sound wildly different. It's like most of them are wrong. And as me, as a voice actor, if I'm going to play a Swedish person, that's the kind of stuff I need to bone up on. So that kind of thing. If you're learning British accents, Southern accents, how you speak with French dialect.
Yeah, well, because we said to Sophia, everyone here speaks such wonderful English. It's great for us. But Sophia, I could tell that the English she had been taught, she had been taught a British accent.
Right. And so it's interesting to me, particularly when I'm playing someone from Europe, a German or an Italian or now a Swedish person, anything like that. The first thing I ask is, was this person taught English by an Englishman or by an American? Because somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, he speaks with an Austrian accent, but he speaks American English because that's where he learned to speak English was in America, right? If you watch World War II films, all the people who play the German soldiers are all British. So they're saying, you know, we would like to see our papers, please, and they have very like ending R's because they're speaking the British accent with the German accent. Whereas Arnold is, you know, he has very much more R's and he's tougher and he talks like an American because that's what he learned in English. So that kind of stuff you can get into the differentiate right there. Does that answer your question? Do you even remember who asked the question?
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Time is almost up. Sadly, I'm very sad myself. But in 15 minutes, we're going to have a signing with these two lovely fellows outside the Technique and Pedagogisk Verkstad, which is pretty much just down the hallway. You're going to see them.
Do we have time for one more question, Matt?
I think I'll let you talk a little bit about your book.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, if you come to the signing, you'll see that I have copies of I've written a science fiction novel.
Dancing with Eternity.
And I have copies of it here. I have like 20 copies or so, but you can buy it online on Amazon. And Ellen and I have finished an audiobook of it. We read the whole thing with music and sound effects. And if you like science fiction, it's one of the more...
Yes, it's on Audible. Dancing with Eternity.
It's on Audible and Amazon and iTunes.
Let's do it one more short question, because I can't get it.
Well, with Glados. Glados gets to ask a question. Where's the microphone? Yeah? No? I think he ran off.
Thank you, Ellen.
You're so welcome, Glados.
Okay, I've been thinking about questions, and I can only come up with one big question that I have been wondering for a really long time. I like to draw and write a lot, and I want to create stories, so naturally I become interested in the characters a lot. So like, where does Shell come from? What kind of relationship do Cave and Carolyn have? So I watched a lot of theory videos on YouTube, and it seems there's a really popular theory.
Yes!
And I don't know if you know a lot about the story writing, Ellen, but this is more like, what do you think? Because
well, I will tell you that the idea that Cave and Carolyn were somehow the parents of Chell was totally not in the writer's minds. Because I've talked to Eric Wolpaw and Jay Pinkerton many times, and when I was recording, I mean, that was never mentioned, never thought about. Carolyn was just the secretary.
yes.
And there are also some theories that when Carolyn sort of becomes part of Glados, that it happened in a rather disturbing manner. That's not true either. So I am always fascinated by what people think about the games, who play the games, who like the games. None of that was in the writers' minds. Actually, I think Carolyn was a name, they chose the name Carolyn because it's one of Jay Pinkerton's family members. That's why it's Carolyn. And they changed, for Portal 2, they changed the story many times. They thought that the whole game for Portal 2 would be a prequel, And we started recording like that, but then the writers changed their ideas and decided, well, no, it really does. We can give a little bit of the prequel, a little bit of the backstory, but it really has to continue from Portal. That's what has to happen. So, in talking to Jay Pinkerton and Eric Wolpaw, they're always very surprised by what the players think the story is. And also when I recorded the Turret Opera, and all of this stuff about saying goodbye, you know, addio, you know, mia cara addio.
That was goodbye to the player, right?
Yes, it was goodbye to the player, and
not a daughter, not a daughter.
No. It was just goodbye to the player, and I made up the bad Italian on the spot because I've sung enough opera that I can speak bad Italian pretty easily.
Can you just make up some Italian words for this? You know, we have the melody, but you know, can you just...
Yeah, Mike Moraski, the composer for the Portal 2 soundtrack, said, you know, just make up some stuff. And then for the, you know, Potatoes Lament, also I was just making up bad Latin. Because also as a singer, I've sung a lot of liturgical music. So I've sung a lot in Latin, so it was like, oh, okay, you know, Potatoes Doloroso, and, you know, I just made up stuff. So I am fascinated by the backstory that I read about on the internet.
Me too.
But no one told me any of that. The writers never thought any of that.
Yeah, thank you really much for answering my question, because I've been wondering that such a long time.
Yeah.
It really makes me sad because even though everyone has, you know, heard the sniper talking to his dad on the phone, no one thinks that the dad is Kate Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot for coming here. This was great.
And we're doing another talk tomorrow at 4, and we may say different things, or we may